say to the people that may be watching right now that are saying, you know what, factories in Detroit are closing, General Motors they're cutting shifts. What do you say to those people that arguably you're hurting?
Well, I mean, we've been hurting for 2.5 years. It's the 4th day. What's 4 days to 2.5 years? Please tell me.
Premise that they were making it hard on manufacturers and suppliers and those people. And the fellow who responded, he nailed it. He said, look, it's been 2.5 years of this for us. It's been 4 days of it for those people. Really? You guys can't take it for 4 days. And I think we can revisit this as we go forward, but I think protesters ought to actually keep that in mind. It took less than a week of this to bring Canada to its knees to cause Trudeau. How many days in were we when Trudeau fled?
Went to the bunker.
Than one?
Yeah.
I don't think they were even in Ottawa yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So he fled. It took less than 1 day to cause Trudeau to flee, and it took less than a week or two to seemingly, if you believe the press, to bring Canada to its knees. So if anything, that stupid question from the reporter actually kind of gave away the secret formula for how to do this, which is just, as Jordan Peterson said, stay the course, fellas.
Yes.
If they do stay the course, then I think it's unbelievably effective. It has galvanized national, it's Canada. It's galvanized our attention better than anything else in as far as COVID goes in the U.S. since this started. I think it's been super effective.
Yeah. Caleb, what do you think staying the course, though, with the Freedom Convoy means? What is the end game, the end result, when they can finally say, all right, we've done it, we're going home?
Yeah, I think one of the things that the Freedom Convoy truckers have done effectively is I think they made their demands very specific. They asked for something. So part of my issue, amongst many things that I disliked about Kaepernick's protest once upon a time, is he really wasn't asking for anything. He was just saying, like, well, we need accountability, America's racist, blah, blah, blah. He didn't actually ask for a solution to redress the problem that he was saying was a real thing. So I appreciate the fact that the truckers have said, look, scrap the mandates. We're done going on with all of these restrictions and having to follow all these rules. So they've made their demands very plain to the government. But I think we're kind of at this crossroads now where it seems like one of the two sides is going to have to escalate their tactics if they want to push this farther. I think that the Freedom Truckers, if they want to continue to stay the course, as Josh said, are going to have to continue to unleash real economic consequences on the population. And if the government wants to end this quickly, they're going to have to probably use force at this point to do it. And we saw them clear out the Ambassador Bridge between Canada and Detroit over the weekend. And I mean, y'all saw the footage when we opened the show. Like, some of that stuff is pretty foreboding. And to think that that would happen in Canada, what's perceived to be like a relatively free and mild-mannered country. It's crazy that we're at this point, but that's the effectiveness of the protest.
So David Marcus over at Fox was writing on this, and this was, come on, Fox, state your stuff. It was 2 days ago. And Marcus made a fantastic observation. One of the differences between the Canada protests and what you had going on in the U.S. with the essentially leftist protests predating all of this, the leftist protests attracted sort of unemployed people, ne'er-do-wells, furries, the sorts of people who actually have time to go engage in protests like that. So it didn't actually cost the economy just that much. There wasn't a lot of productive labor that was being stopped and redirected. Whereas when you have a group of truckers who work nonstop and who are essentially, they really are kind of the lifeblood of the economy. The interstates and highways spread out like a series of veins and capillaries through the country. You really feel it when those guys stop pulling their weight. And that really should be, there's almost a Randian kind of striker element in this that really should terrify the powers that be.